I've missed jokes. The Naked Gun. And yes, don't yell at me. No, I haven't seen freaking Fantastic Four yet. No, I haven't seen Weapons yet. I was in the mood for something that was dumb on purpose today. And this was the last day that this was playing at my local cinema at time of recording. So, I watched this. I think it was time well spent. It's interesting. It is often a heretical thing to say that you like a remake better than the original. But the thing is, I can quantify you very specifically why I like this better than the original Naked Gun. Because in terms of the pace and style of jokes, this felt closer to Airplane than the Naked Gun did. Now, last year, when I was commissioned to do a whole bunch of 70s and 80s comedies, I rewatched both Airplane and The Naked Gun. Airplane held up surprisingly well. The Naked Gun didn't, especially because I'd already seen Airplane again. The thing with The Naked Gun is that it is starting to fall, not completely, but starting to. It is starting to fall into the issue of, okay, rather than going rapid fire jokes as we do the scene, it's instead coming up with a scene where like, okay, this is a silly scene and we'll just keep doing this. Which, if the premise of the scene works for you, can be great. If it doesn't, and the other thing is, I know as much as we all remember, like, yes, Leslie Nielsen got into comedy because he started doing jokes completely deadpan. That was the case in Airplane. By The Naked Gun, while absolutely the best jokes in the original version of The Naked Gun are when he is playing it straight, the reality is he was also starting to mug for the camera in this. And it was something that he would do increasingly over not only this series, but just the rest of his comedic career. And while the original Naked Gun is certainly not the worst of any of that, it is where it starts. And, like, it's fine. The original's fine. I like this better. I like this better for a couple of reasons. First is, Leslie Nielsen legitimately never breaks. He never mugs for the camera. There's like one or two times that he kind of pauses to like let a moment sink in, but that's about it. Like, he is so completely deadpan. Everybody is in this, honestly. The one who's closest to an outright comedic character in terms of presentation is Ed, his partner. But, the villain, the femme fatale, Danny Houston and Pam Anderson, respectively, both doing very good jobs as well. All played completely straight. But what I also like is it is shot completely straight. That's not to say the original Naked Gun wasn't, but the original Naked Gun was shot very generically. It got the job done. This is doing a lot of very stylized shooting, especially with the lighting, especially in the climax. Like, it's making this look like an actual mid-budget thriller kind of thing. And yet they're doing all this ridiculous nonsense. And I don't want to oversell the quality of the humor. There were 3 jokes, one of which was quite subtle. But there were 3 jokes that got a real big laugh out of me. And then mostly other than that, it was chuckles all the way through. But honestly, those 3 were, they were real good. I'm not going to say in the video what they are, I don't think. If you're curious, ask in the comments and I'll tell you. But I enjoyed the presentation, the style of humor. Again, everybody's really committed to the jokes. The plot it's standard, it's rote. I mean, I think they're aware of the fact that they completely stole the villain's plan from the first Kingsman movie, which is fine, but also odd because Kingsman was a borderline parody already. Anyway, I should rewatch that first Kingsman and never, ever, ever watch the second one again. God, I hate that movie. Sorry, minor tangent. But this has a good pacing for the jokes, and honestly, the whole cast does a really great job of just being there and just selling it. And again, even as it gets ridiculous, and it does bring that kind of old school ridiculous you don't get anymore. Like, part of what I really like about this, because I have been accused more than a few times of being a comedy snob. There's a lot of approaches to comedy, especially some of the most successful approaches to comedy in the last couple decades, that I really hate. I've labeled a lot of this Judd Apatow nonsense, but he's far from the only one. But basically, there's an approach to comedy that has been incredibly prevalent in what comedic films get made. And I'm going to cite it as a film problem. Television is a bit more spread out in terms of the approaches to humor. But in terms of films, the way that it feels like it has been done for decades now, or at least the most prominent way, is to do something that I kind of already mentioned. Not so much have jokes, individual jokes, have a funny premise for a scene that you half script and then let the actors improv, and then you cut something together later. And I really hate that. As someone who likes snappy humor, or likes fast-paced humor, who likes wordplay and just weird little twists in the conversation that you don't expect, that it's the kind of stuff that you have to script. I freaking hate that. I freaking hate that approach to comedy. And this is not only fully scripted, it has to be, but like, it's not about here's a silly premise. It's about here's the jokes. Here's a joke. Here's another joke. Oh, we just twisted that around and brought it back an earlier joke, but now here's this joke. And they are new and individual jokes. I'm not going to say there's no instances of them playing basically the same joke out over the course of a scene. I'd say like there's one or two instances of that, but it is the vast minority. By and large, the scenes are just, they're what are necessary for the plot, honestly, and then the jokes are just poured in there, which is what I prefer in terms of a approach to a comedy anyways. Now, like, again, the story is thin, and it's thin on purpose, but it's still structured the way that you would structure a serious take on this story in terms of the order of scenes and if you were to do the basic outline of what the scenes are, this is structured like an actual serious version of this story, which again, I really appreciate. I feel, again, it's a bit of a modern comedy problem, and especially in terms of it being overly prominent as a way to approach it. There's this idea of like, oh, if we're making people laugh, we don't have to worry about story structure. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. At least if you want me to not be miserable. And I was not miserable. I don't want to oversell this, but I had a lot of fun with it. It knows what it is. It is people trying to be very, very stupid in the cleverest ways that they can think, and I appreciate it. The Naked Gun! Have you seen this one? What did you think about it? Have you rewatched the original lately? How did you feel that held up? Again, like, I think I'm partially mean to that because I rewatched it after rewatching Airplane, which is just better across the board. But anyways, whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. Those help as well. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Fulla, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Tracy Scrabbit, Pal Barabajoggle, and Sir Didymus is my favorite. Don't worry, the rats are all fine, but my rat wrangler is not here right now, and I thought we could have Archie say hi. Or not.